Welcome everybody to the second meeting of our newly established Embryia, a whites only town. Today I would like to discuss what laws we would like to see put in place. Do I have any ideas? Yes. No seasoning on chicken, absolutely no seasoning on chicken. I always say when it comes to chicken, the more white, the more right. In fact, if you boil your chicken, you can get it even whiter. So I would strongly recommend that. Do we have any other ideas? Yes. No vaccines. Well, that's a gimme, Bill, you fucking idiot. If it can't be healed with ivermectin, then we will just die. We can make polio great again. Do I have any other ideas? Yes. We need a flag. I couldn't agree more. And in fact, I've been keeping something secret from y'all, something I've been working real hard on. I hope you like it as much as I do. This is my suggestion for the new Embryia flag. You see, here we have the United States flag. We have a jar of mayo. What could represent us better? That's right, Linda, potato salad with raisins, the only way to eat a potato salad. Thank you all so much. All in favor of making this the new Embryia flag? Excellent, this shall be our new flag. Thank you all so much. I'm getting tired and I need a smoke, so we're gonna go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Next time I want you to think about what kind of establishments you would like to see in Embryia. Thank y'all so much.
Funniest part about that whites only town in Arkansas, black folks ain't mad, and you're mad, we not mad. So there's a brand new whites only town in Arkansas, and the gag is black people don't even care. Now, I've seen the comments. Aren't black people upset? Why are you mad about this? We gonna clear this up right now. Nobody's upset, poo-poo. See, the one thing black people ain't gonna do is lose sleep over other people that want to create a safe space for themselves. Build your own little town, plant a flag, that's fine. Hang a welcome sign, whatever makes you feel good. Honestly, we gotta be real about something, because I saw the interviews, I saw the clips. This ain't a town of exceptional people. I mean, think about it. If you drop everything to move to this town, you probably already didn't have much going on anyway, right? And that's not shade, that's facts. So the question is, again, why should black folks care? This is the part that cracks me up the most. Y'all want us to care. I see the confusion in your eyes. I see it. Y'all like, don't the blacks care? Don't they want to be where we are? Nah. We just want to make sure when we build our communities, we're not cheated out of the things that we're supposed to have. That's all we care about, boo. And it's wild because history has shown, as soon as black people do build their own thriving spaces, what happened? Some of your people roll up and burn the whole thing down. But we're supposed to believe now y'all just want to be left alone. Child, I'm going to tell you what really gave it away for me, though. The fact that they ran to the media. That's not privacy, y'all. That's desperation. Numbers must be low. If you got to beg the evening news to let them know that you exist, waitlist my ass. See, if black folks were building their town, the media would be the last people that we want to know about it. We gatekeep. We ain't trying to broadcast. But y'all couldn't wait to hold a press conference. That's not security, that's thirst. So no, we're not upset, we're not jealous, we're not even plotting to crash your party. Because truth be told, we really don't care. And honestly, that's what really bothers y'all.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. I'm your host and presenter in Genetic Stories. I'm hoping that you are doing fine. Now let's discuss about this issue that has been going on, and I'm seeing a lot of backlash online. I mean, white people against themselves fighting over this issue. Now there's this initiative which was formed by some white folks called Return Back to the Land. And I've seen some people in Kansas, I've seen some people in, Ozark. People are trying to, come together and form a white-based community. Well, as if we black folks, we have problem. Black people don't have a problem with this, right? And in fact, the last time I checked, black people just want their peace. They don't want nothing. The problem is that some of these white folks that are living in these places are acting like black people have a problem with them leaving them and going to these places. Well, the truth still remains that this is overtly white separation. right? This is overtly white separation, and we don't have a problem with white separation. At least black folks will now have to develop themselves. Black dollar will now have to revolve around black people, and this is to the advantage of black people. However, these are the things that we need to discuss about. Really, really important. Black people, some white people are having problems with this. And there is a whole lot of backlash that are coming from the white community itself, from the people that are trying to separate from other communities. Some people are claiming that white people are so boring. I can fathom staying in the white community because I'm used to other communities. Because remember, there's so much social dynamics when it comes to race. You might be a white person, but you've lived with black people your entire life. You've lived with Latinos your entire life. You've lived with the Asian community your entire life. So there's so many things that are happening in this. And now I want us to watch this video. I'll be back and I'll be giving my analysis in regards to what we are going to discuss. Now, just a simple plea, just the way I usually ask you, please, if you're watching this video for the first time and this is the first time you're coming across this channel, I'm just asking you to kindly subscribe the channel, join my membership, and really get to see what I can offer you. And I'm really grateful for those who are doing the same. I'm really grateful for those who are liking, subscribing, sharing, and I'm also really grateful for those who are donating to my channel, those who are supporting me through my Cash App. Super thanks. Man, I'm really grateful. And now, let's watch the video. I'll be back, and then we're going to be having this great discussion in regards to this. Let's get into it. I'll be back.
My name's Nikki, N-I-K-I. I'm 32. I'm a lady.
This is Return to the Land, a group of millennials who organised online to build something radical and controversial. A town for white people only, that they insist is completely legal. We spent several days with them, watching as the men set about the physical labour of building out the site. All the while, the women of the group took on the more typically trad, homesteading type roles.
I guess I found the people through Twitter that ended up starting this project, actually spearheading it, and I went out to the first April event last year, and it was really fun.
The sort of white-only aspect of this, how important is that to you guys?
Given the premise that it's something that is kind of off limits for whites but is okay by implication for other groups, I do feel it's necessary to carve that out, and you kind of have to do it yourself.
It's kind of like if we don't do this, the laws are only getting worse as far as freedom of association goes. So it's kind of like we have to do this, or there might come a time where it's not possible to.
Are you guys aware sort of people are going to be watching, it's going to be controversial?
I think people just have a large misunderstanding of what's happening here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the biggest misunderstanding?
Well,
That we hate everyone else. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's not about that.
Yeah,
By any means.
it's a loving movement.
I mean, on that aspect of it being loving, I suppose the counter-argument would be, it could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, or if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do, and I think that's great for them. And it's like, if other people are allowed to do it, I don't really see why whites aren't allowed to do it. It doesn't make any sense. So it's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
The leader, Eric Orwell, wants the community to grow, and further what he calls traditional white American culture. And the group is explicit about this. It has an online fundraiser to give cash rewards to parents of newborns as a means to incentivise population growth. Just before we arrived, they donated $1,000 to a family for having their 6th child.
Is that part of the mission as well, to sort of have big families, to make the community bigger? Is there a sort of pressure there?
I don't feel particularly myself, I don't feel any pressure to like have a big family. I think there's a kind of expectation here that you do want to, as part of helping grow this thing, that you're going to have kids.
Well, I'm about to talk about an issue that's not supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be funny. But because I am petty, honey, it's fucking funny. Now, I'm not trying to trigger you in any kind of way, and I know some people may be offended by the things I'm about to say because I'm unmelanated, but trust me, baby, this is the best fucking tea. I'm sure you've seen all of the videos out there about that all-white town being erected in the Ozarks. Let them do it, baby. Let them do it. And by the way, that's nothing new here in the U.S. of A. Racism is at play every single goddamn day, and we have quite a few all-white communities, boo. They're called trailer parks. But either way... no shade to you if you live in a trailer park, boo, but if you voted for that fool, then fuck you, huh? But either way, honey, this is what I've been asking for the entirety of my life, baby. To get these racist motherfuckers out of my neighborhood and into their own. Baby, please. Gather yourselves in the Ozarks for us, honey. Gather yourselves together in one community. Do not be out here amongst the everywheres with the rest of us. We outnumber you and we do need more landmass, boo. There's only a few of you. So if y'all could all gather together in the same place where we know exactly where you are, that would be fabulous, baby. We know exactly who not to send aid to when a flood comes through. We'll know exactly where you are, baby. So please build your own fucking community. Recruit all that you need to come through and help you garden, boo. I would love to see your white hateful asses out in your own field picking your own fucking food. Go ahead. Do it, honey. Let's see how long that shit lasts with your white mediocre fucking ass. But for real though, do it, honey. I would like to know exactly where all of you are. Like I said, we want to know where not to send aid to when the flood comes through. This is the best idea y'all have ever fucking had. Do it, honey. Do it, please. I need a vacation soon. I might roll through and be petty and fuck with you, since y'all are all gonna be together in the same goddamn place. It'll make it so much easier to spot your hate.
Wait until white people find out that the person that they pray to and call their savior and think that he's coming back. Wait until they find out that he was actually a person. Just remember, anytime you see the elites or whatever you want to call them trying to make us hate a specific person or thing, it's really just because that's the most powerful thing. They do everything in their power to make us hate black people. That's because these people are so powerful. These people have been here forever. White people did not pop up until about 5,000 years ago. Now, there's gonna be quite a few of white people that are gonna be mad at this because y'all think everything is about you, but I'm here to tell you that it's not. And it never was. Think about it. I don't know where the fuck white people came from, to be honest, but we are not meant to be in the sun. Like how, black people are from Earth. They have been here a long ass time, bro. The sun loves them. The sun hates white people, okay? I'm just being honest. Part of that has to do with wearing sunscreen and sunglasses, but that's for a whole nother video. All of those ancient people from ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, those were... Ever notice how the nose are always chopped off on those ancient structures? That's because they don't want us to know the truth. I'm not gonna say too much about this photo because I don't want my video to get taken down again. But I mean, y'all see what's going on. A lot of things you've just been lied to, y'all. Pretty much everything is the opposite of what you think it is. There's a reason they want to divide black people. It's because black people are the most connected. They are very, very, very talented at singing, dancing, athletics, you name it. So many things are designed to limit them. I think that black women are the most powerful people on the planet because the number two things that the elites, whatever you want to call them, that they hate the most is women and black people. So there you have it, black women. Those are the people that we need to be listening to. Those are the leaders of the new earth. And I'm not saying other women aren't powerful, but there's just something about an enlightened black woman who is embodying her gifts that is just so powerful, y'all.
Oh, let them build a white-only community in Arkansas. They'll find out. They'll find out how bored they are. I mean, without Mexican, indigenous, black, Asian influences, like, what are they even doing? Like just eating mayonnaise and listening to country music, I guess? Like, I'd be really worried about the kids in that community, though, right? Like, they're going to become the entertainment in an evil sort of way. But other than that, just let them have their experiment. They'll find out.
This isn't about heritage. This is about hate. This is about building a safe space for white supremacy under the...
What makes you think that you have any control over our community and why you deserve the right to be around us? As you see behind me, this is a list of things that are segregated for people who are not white. Let's take a look at all of the segregated spaces, events, graduations, scholarships, and government programs that are set aside for people who are not white. Sorry, sweetheart, but we're not stopping until we see white graduations, white cultural events, white communities, white-only spaces, white scholarships. If you don't like it, we don't really care. Go build your own fucking society. Nobody's stopping you. It must be really nice to have all of these non-white privileges living in a white country. Access to white people is not a right. You will not be stopping us from uniting and building up our community. It's not going to happen. Now, coexisting is just fine, but it needs to be optional instead of forced on the public. At the end of the day, white people deserve the right to celebrate and protect our people. Let them seethe.
A whites-only community could be coming to Missouri in 2025, and yes, you are hearing me correctly. An actual group called Return to the Land is trying to build a segregated whites-only town near Springfield, Missouri. And this isn't parody, and this is not satire. This is happening in America right now. The founder says that they want to return to their roots. But come on, guys, let's be real. This isn't about heritage. This is about hate. This is about building a safe space for white supremacy under the guise of community. And what's even more disturbing, these people feel so fucking emboldened these days that they're not even hiding it anymore. They're openly promoting racial segregation like it's normal, like this country didn't literally fight an actual civil war to end this bullshit. This is what happens when politicians feed the lie that diversity is the problem. This is what happens when you have people in power pushing the idea that America was better when it was whiter. They want to isolate, they want to indoctrinate, they want to raise their kids in a world where no one challenges their racism, their ignorance, or their twisted version of history. So, here's the question. How in the hell are we letting this happen in broad daylight? Where are the zoning boards? Where are the civil rights investigations? And where is the national outrage? Because if they succeed here, this won't be the last. It'll literally be the blueprint. We are watching the normalization of white nationalism one community at a time. And if you're not disturbed by that, you're either racist yourself or you're just not paying attention.
I need y'all to understand that those people do not intend to leave us alone in their little town in Arkansas. It's recently been in the news that some chalk children in America have decided to create their own whites-only town. And when asked by a reporter, they made it seem as though that they intend to just have a town of their own and resources of their own and just live off the land, returning to the land. A land that they stole through crimes against humanity, but who's counting? Many brothers and sisters' take on this is, hey, we don't care if y'all have your own, just leave us alone in the process. I mean, every time we've tried to do that, y'all have burned our towns down. And I'm just here to tell y'all that unfortunately, they do not intend to leave us alone. In the interview with the colonizer that wants to found this whites-only town in Arkansas, they're making it seem as though they just want to live in peace. We must remember that these are people that have never known peace. They didn't know peace when they was by themselves in the ice-cold mountains of Europe, and they're not going to know peace in the middle of Arkansas. In the 70s, there was a black scholar that broke down white supremacy into an equation. The same way that E equals MC squared, white supremacy equals white power over non-white powerlessness. And so that means that white supremacy cannot live in an environment where non-white people have any form of power. Because if there's no non-white people around, who are they superior to? Nothing they have achieved has been achieved by leaving people alone. It's like if your son or daughter said they didn't want to live in the house anymore and locked themselves in their room. In order to eat, brush their teeth, or do anything, that child would have to come outside the room. And it's the same thing for them. At some point, they are going to need resources and labor, and that's when they turn to us. And if we have our own power and our own resources, then we have no reason to share with them. And that is when they destroy what we have so that we have to work with them. Don't be fooled. Just like the movie Sinners, it all starts out nice and pleasant, but they have ulterior motives.
Y'all really thought we cared about that white-only town, didn't y'all? Y'all thought y'all was getting off on that, didn't y'all? Y'all thought y'all was going to just blow the internet up with y'all. Y'all really thought that, didn't y'all? We could care less. First of all, it's in Arkansas. It isn't. They don't even sell liquor on Sundays in Arkansas. We don't want to be there. There is nothing in Arkansas that we want to go for. Second of all, Arkansas. Third of all, y'all said y'all was going to take it to Missouri. What was that the other place? Missouri? Another place that we don't want to be in. I don't know shit in Missouri. We don't care. We could care less. But I tell you one thing. Let us do it. Because history has shown that every time we have done it, we've done it successfully. And every time we've done it, y'all have burned them to the ground. Y'all the ones that care, not us. We don't give a shit. Have your little country ass town where y'all gonna take the Bible and twist it to hell and do what y'all want to do with it. And not actually follow the words in it, because y'all don't do that anyway. Because y'all missed the whole love your neighbor part. Y'all missed the whole don't do no wrong to immigrants part. Y'all miss all the main stuff in the Bible. Y'all miss all of that. So y'all gonna take the words of God and twist it to hell. And then y'all gonna run with it. It will soon become some type of bull crap that y'all gonna just hang on tight to, that the rest of the country gonna laugh at. Nobody cares. We don't care. We really don't care. But I bet if we do it, y'all will care.
When it comes to that white-only town, I think y'all need to chill the fuck out. These people are getting exploited. These white people are getting exploited. Some rich people find out that they can profit off of the hate of some white people. The hate that some white people have in their heart. Yeah. White people always profit from bigotry and racism all the time. Okay? Now, you ask me, how is that happening? Well, number one, there's a 120 acre worth of land somewhere, I think it's in Arkansas, and they are accepting members only who are white and Christian. If you're a Jew, you're not allowed to be there, and blah, 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 right? And when you sign up for membership, you get interviewed and you get approved, you have to buy land. And once you buy the land, they don't give you the deed for the land. They don't give you the rights to those properties. They don't put that property in your name. They sell you shares of the LLC that actually owns the land. Okay? That's literally what this is, bro. Like, they're literally exploiting these white people for money. And they know that there are white people who are going to buy into that shit, because they know that there are white people who hate other people who don't look like them. And then they're selling Christianity to them as well. Oh yeah, if you come here, that means you are great, amazing Christian. Like, the world has been through this so many fucking times, and the fact that people don't learn is so fucking insane. But hey, let them do their thing. Actually, we should advocate for more white people like that to go join that town, and even make it bigger. Make it 1 million acres and send them all there, please.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. Again, I'm your host and presenter, Eugenic Stories, and these are the things that I feel like we need to talk about. First things first, the idea of white-only communities in modern America. You know very well this is not just a new phenomenon. It's a resurgence that reflects the deeper anxieties around race, demographic change, and perceived loss of cultural or political dominance. Remember that when white people propose separating from black people or creating a whites-only enclaves, it reactivates historical legacies of segregation and white supremacy, while also sparking contemporary debates around power, self-sufficiency, and the myth of racial superiority. You know, this is things that we have to talk about, and because we're going to check on the historical context of racial separation in the United States. First things first, you know damn well that America has a long history of enforced racial separation, most notoriously through the Jim Crow era, where state-sanctioned segregations legalized the physical, educational, economical, and political division between white and black Americans. The ideology behind these laws was not only to maintain white supremacy, but to create a separate sphere where whites will not have to interact or compete with black people. However, this separation was never truly equal black communities because black communities were deprived of resources and opportunities. Now, what's happening today is a rearticulation of those same segregationist ideas, but under the gaze of freedom and preservation of culture. Also, the recent resurgence of white separatist ideology manifests in attempts to form a white-only towns or communities, which is often a reaction to demographic shifts. As America becomes more diverse, certain segments of white population view multiculturalism as a threat rather than a strength. These movements are usually not about genuine self-sufficiency, but about retreating from a world where whiteness no longer guarantees social and economic dominance. It is a manifestation of what scholars call white fragility, an inability to cope with racial equality. Now, contrary to, popular myth, the black communities in America have historically shown great resilience and self-sufficiency when left to their own devices. From Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to independent towns like Rosewood, Florida, black Americans have built thriving communities despite systemic oppressions. These were often destroyed by white violence, not black failures. Thus, the narrative that black people cannot succeed without white assistance is both historical and rooted in racist mythology, something that is not accurate. Talking about economic realities and dependency myths, white separatist movements often rely on myths that black people are dependent on white systems. However, the American economy has been historically built on the exploitation of black labor, first through slavery, then sharecropping, and later on through discriminatory labor markets. Many white Americans are unaware that black workers subsidize the white wealth creation. When black people advocate for separation or self-determination, it's often about liberation from these exploitative systems, not evasion of productivity or innovation. Talking about cultural pluralism versus white homogeneity, white-only spaces are often designed to preserve a homogeneous culture and nostalgia for a time when American culture was coded as white, Protestant, and Anglo-Saxon. This is anti-ethical to cultural pluralism, which views diversity as enriching rather than threatening. In contrast, black culture in America has always been adaptive, creative, and open to new forms of expression. Talk about music and art to politics and spirituality. Therefore, when white separatists seek to isolate themselves, they often create a cultural, stagnant environment. Many scholars such as Dr. Joy DeGruy, Frantz Fanon, they have argued that white supremacy functions not only as a structural system, but also as a psychological one. White people seek to separate often, who seek to operate often do so because their identity has been built on the superiority complex of a black people. In separating, they risk confronting the vacuum of identity that emerges when that superiority is removed. And in contrast, Black people are already accustomed to building identities in spite of racial trauma, making them potentially more adaptable. Also, let's talk about governance and infrastructural challenges. History shows that whites-only experiments such as white utopias or neo-segregationist towns often struggle with governance, innovation, and sustainability. The myth that white people naturally create better infrastructure is undermined by numerous examples where racially homogeneous towns failed due to lack of diversity in labor skills and ideas. Meanwhile, cities and communities with diverse racial input tend to be more resilient and adaptable, particularly in globalized economies. Talking about white-only communities, they also risk moral and ethical decay. Why? Because as they isolate themselves from accountability and different, diversity forces communities to engage in moral dialogue, address injustice, and refine their values. Remember that without these, whites-only spaces become become echo chambers that reinforce harmful ideologies. This is evident in far-right online physical spaces, where extremism flourishes due to lack of counterbalance. Talking about black autonomy as a liberation project. For black people, the idea of separation isn't rooted in supremacy, but survival and liberation. Movements such as Marcus Garvey's Back to Africa campaign or the modern call for reparation are not about hating white people, but about reclaiming autonomy, land, and destiny. Black-led institutions, schools, business, and neighborhoods are vital experiments in decolonization. These efforts are about healing, dignity, and sovereignty. And these are the qualities that are often misunderstood or characterized in mainstream discourse. The myth of white infallibility. Perhaps the most crucial point is dismantling the myth of that white people will thrive better on their own. Historically, white societies have also faced internal collapse, wars, and dysfunction without the presence of other races. Racial superiority was a political and economic project, not a reflection of actual capacity. If whites-only spaces are built on exclusion and denial of history, they are likely to produce the very failures that they attribute to others. Meanwhile, black communities who have weathered centuries of oppression may emerge more united, innovative, and spiritually grounded in the continued to fight for justice and lawlessness. Really, let me know what you think about this video. I really want to know your opinion in regards to this. And now, as you know, I'm your host and presenter HTech Stories. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony.